Many of us frequently complain about the negativity of the news, particularly now in the economic downturn. Why do we have this attraction for bad news? We find that we are in a state of learned helplessness. Media studies show that bad news far outweighs good news, much as 17 negative reports for every one good news report. Why is that the case? Well, the answer may lie in the work of evolutionary psychologists and neuroscientists. Humans seek out news of dramatic negative events. These experts say that our brains evolved in a hunter-gatherer environment where anything novel or dramatic had to be attended to immediately for survival. So while we no longer have to defend ourselves against physical threats in our environment, our brains have not caught up. Many studies have shown that we care about the threat of bad things more than the prospect of good things. Our negative brain tripwires are far more sensitive than our positive triggers. We tend to get more fearful than happy. Another factor contributing to this desire for and prevalence of bad news is that we no longer live in small towns and small communities of 500 or 5,000. In such communities as those, the possibility that something unusual has happened is low. Usually things don't happen to individuals very often that are unusual. That's why very local news, like a neighbourhood newsletter, tends to have less bad news. But in large cities of 1 million plus inhabitants, dramatic and negative incidents happen all the time. Most people watch national or worldwide media where news reports come in from large cities at a large scale, so the prevalence of negative stories increases. So is there any solution to this problem? Well, we can stop focusing on the negative news we can stop watching it and stop consuming these negative news reports. Is there any good news in all of this? According to positive psychologists, we can change our habits and we can focus on the glass being half full. When we acquire new habits, our brains acquire mirror neurons and develop a positive perspective that can spread to other people. This is about being able to reprogram our brains to apply this positive psychology to our attitudes and behaviours in relation to current economic and business events. The bad news, so that our brains are hardwired into a negative state, will just reinforce the current negative economic climate.